Hey, hope you're having a great Wednesday today and that the rest of your Wednesday is great too, because you are amazing. Driving to work this morning thinking about life and how awesome it is, and I got thinking about what are your little bits of happiness. I got thinking about my little bits of happiness, is what I call them. Things that are in my life, or people that are in my life, or circumstances or situations that are in my life that bring happiness to me. And a lot of them surround many times bringing happiness to other ones. So basically my little bits of happiness, and the reason I was thinking about this is I was away this weekend at a funeral, and it was a bummer on a lot of levels. I had to fly out and go to the funeral. My wife's grandfather died, and on a lot of levels it was really a drag. You know, the fact that, you know, my wife was super upset about missing her grandfather, and there's just a whole bunch of other things that made the whole situation just a bummer on a lot of levels. And so as I was driving or flying home, we flew on different schedules. Maria and I, she went down earlier to help with some things, and came home later because she was helping with some things. So I flew there and flew back by myself. And I was just feeling kind of bummed out. And I got home and I noticed that my whole countenance changed and my joy level changed when my wife called me from the car and said that she was being dropped off at the airport and ready to catch her flight to come back to us. And that immediately made me feel better. I was happier on the inside, and I got thinking about what are the other things in my life that are those little bits of happiness. Things like just being around my wife, you know, and having her at the house, holding her little hand, listening to her talk with other people. Those are little bits of happiness. Listening to my children interact with each other like fools is little bits of happiness. You know, Stewart's coffee in the morning is a little bit of a happiness that I have. Taking some time and feeling like I have helped someone brings me a little bit of happiness, which is part of the reasons why I do these things. Every time I go to quit, somebody's like, Josh, that really helped me today. I'm like, all right, another one. But those things are, you know, these little bits of happiness. And I got thinking about other folks in life, and maybe you should ask yourself, what are those things that are little bits of happiness for you? And I find for me, most of those little bits of happiness doesn't revolve around material things, because they come and they go. Not that material things aren't nice and we can't enjoy them, but the resident happiness, like for me, knowing how much God loves me. Knowing how much God loves me is a constant happiness for me. And that doesn't mean I'm running around with my giggling like an idiot all the time and kicking my heels up like woohoo. That's not what it means all the time. But it's just a resident happiness that's there that walks me through all the other things in life that some of them are a drag. And so for you, what are those little bits of happiness for you? And think about them and be around them, and ask yourself, are all the things that you feel like you must have and if you don't have them, you won't be happy? If they're all material things, maybe look at trying to make an adjustment, because life can come through, as we all know, and steal those things from us. And and think about, you know, where our happiness lies, and how can we be around those little things that are bits of happiness on a regular basis. And because I think it's important, because the other things that are a drag show up whether we want them or not, but we can on purpose be connected to those little bits of happiness in life. And I know one of them for me is feeling like I've sown some happiness into somebody else's life by helping them in whatever way. And that helps me. And so that may not be the same for you, because you're not me, and that's okay. But I want you to think about those things as you go, and think about being on purpose around those little bits of happiness. Hope that helps you. Hope that encourages you. Get out there today, folks. Gain yards in all you do. And please take care of that mindset, because it matters. I love you. Peace.